Hey, I'm Dalton Joyce.
And I'm Griffin Moreski.
And we're going to show you how to math on the ACT.
Douglas wants to draw a circle graph showing the favorite colors of his friends. He asked each friend what their favorite color was, and 25% said red, 30% said blue, 20% said green, and 10% said purple. The remaining friend said colors that were not any of those four. He grouped those colors together in a sector of the graph titled Other. What is the degree measure of the other sector? So Douglas is making a circle graph, so we're going to draw one right here, and each of those percentages makes up a small portion of that circle graph. We're looking for one right here called Other. To do that, we can add up the percentages of each one. So that was 25% red, 30% blue, 20% green, and 10% purple. Add those up, you get 85%. To find the other section, we want everything that's not in that 85%, so we're going to subtract it from 100, which will give us 15%. Now, 15 is one of your answer choices, but that is not correct. We're looking for a degree measure, not a percent measure. To find 15% of that whole circle, we'll times 15%, which is 0.15, multiply that by the degree measure of a circle, which is 360 degrees.
A string that is 8 feet long is cut into 3 parts. Because we have 3 parts, we have 3 variables. Let's call this first variable variable 1. The second variable is variable 2, and the third is variable 3. Now we must find how each variable corresponds with one another. If the first part is twice as long as the second, and the second part is twice as long as the third, how many feet long is the first part? Now, because the second part is twice as long as the third, it can be labeled as 2x, or multiply this by 2. And because the first part is twice as long as the second, we can multiply this by 2 again to get 4x. Now we have variables that correspond with one another correctly. Now you put it into an equation. 4x plus 2x plus x equals 8 feet, or how it was cut into. Now you add them together and you get 7x equals 8. Divide it out and you get x equals 8 over 7. Now that is an answer, but you are not complete yet. What you must do is you must find the first string, not the third. We found the third. To find the first, you multiply x by 4, which multiply it out and you get 32 over 7, which also equals 4 4/7. And your answer is E.
Question 3. Tom and Joni are playing darts using the board with point values for each region shown below. The radius of the outer circle is 10 inches, and each of the circles has a radius 2 inches smaller than the previous circle. All of the circles have the same center. Thomas has one dart left to throw and needs at least 30 points to win the game. Assuming that his last dart hits at a random point with a single region on the board, what is the percent chance that Thomas will win the game? Thomas needs to score 30 points or more to win. So that means when he tosses his dart, he can get it anywhere in the 30 circle, the 40 circle, or the 50 circle. So I'm going to shade that in right here. We're going to be finding what the percent of the bigger circle that this smaller circle is. Now first we can eliminate some of the answer choices. D and E, which are 9% and 1.5%, are really small. This is actually a pretty big portion of the circle, and it's much bigger than 9% or 1.5%. So we're going to eliminate D and E as answers. They're way too small. Now let's do some math. The formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. To find the radius of the outer circle, is 10 inches, so the area is 10 squared pi, or 100 pi. For the inner circle, the 30 and greater circle, we have to find the radius based off the problem. Each circle has a radius 2 inches smaller from the outer circle. So if this is 10, we go down by 2 to 8, and down 2 more to 6. So the radius of the 30 circle is 6. 6 squared pi equals 36 pi. Notice we're not expanding out the pi part because that's an extra calculator step and will turn our answer into a weird decimal. Finally, to find the percent, we have to put the smaller circle, 36 pi, over the bigger circle, 100 pi, to find the area where he needs to throw the dart. Let's divide that out. Cross out your pi's because they cancel out, and you get 0.36. 0.36 looks familiar because it's a decimal, so you can move the place 2 over and turn it into a percent. And that's answer A, 36%.
Sales for a business were $3 million more the second year than the first, and sales for the third year were double the sales for the second year. If sales for the third year were $38 million, what were sales in millions of dollars for the first year? Well, we need to start with a variable, and our variable is x. X represents the sales for the first year, but we do not know it, so we have to find how it corresponds with the second and third year to be able to find it. Now, sales for the second year were x plus 3, or $3 million more than the first year. And sales for the third year were double the second, which you times this whole equation by 2, and you get that. And now, after that, you have the sales for the third year, which allows you to equal it to $38 million. What you do now is you divide it out, and you get 19 equals x plus 3. Subtract 3, and you have x equals 16. That is $16 million, which is A.
Problem 5. In the following figure, the circle centered at N has a radius of 4. What is the area of the shaded region of the circle? This symbol right here on the unshaded region is a right angle. That's 90 degrees. 90 degrees is also 1/4 of the circle. Why? A whole circle is 360 degrees, so 90 is just 1/4 of that. So if this is 1/4, then the shaded part, what we're trying to find, is 3/4. So if we find the area of the entire circle and then multiply it by 3/4, we'll find the area of the shaded region only. Let's define the area. Our formula, if you remember, is pi r squared. The radius of the whole circle is 4, so we'll plug that into the formula. 4 squared is 16 times pi. We're not doing the pi, we're not turning that into 3.14 because all of our answer choices have a pi symbol in them, so why bother? Now, that's the radius for the whole circle, but if you remember, we need to multiply it by 3/4 to get the shaded region. 16 multiply across to 3 is 48. Pi 1 times 4 is 4. You can divide that out, 48 divided by 4, and get 12 times pi, of course. And that's one of your answers, answer D, 12 pi.
Ben and Adam deliver the morning papers. Ben delivers twice as many papers as Adam does. Together, they deliver 117 newspapers. How many newspapers does Adam deliver? We are looking for Adam, but we do not have Adam, so we put X for Adam. It also states that Ben delivers twice as many as Adam, so we can safe to say Ben is two Adams. And together, they deliver 117 newspapers. You add these together, get 3x equals 117, divide it out by 3, and you get x equals 39. That is how many papers Adam delivers. Wait.